secret on the broadcast. Quote in the comments, chanting every line. You're tuned to the truth that you'll never find online. Come on, it's the cult of Ron and Brian. If you're in, you ain't ever going quiet. Twist that dial, let the whole world hear it. Two sharp minds and the bad influence spirit. Hey, cult of Ron and Brian. Welcome to the ride, you're inside it now.
And that is right. You are inside episode 404. I got to tell you, I feel more energized every time we start this show since episode 400. Again, nothing wrong with the previous intro. It was very mellow, very fit the mood. But this, I think, just gets a shot out of the gate. Like a cannon, like a loose cannon.
But also, I think this intro is much more reflective of the energy that you and I bring to the table. It is setting the table. It is sitting there saying to the world, this is the energy you're going to get. If you can't handle it, walk away. It's okay for you to say, Ron does like cannons. Right off the bat, JoJo in the comments. Boom. Nailing it. Ron likes cannons. We all know this. But yeah, this is going to be a great episode. Great episode. It's 404 people. And it just means that my fan is just fucking wild right now. I don't know. I've got a fan going.
I open the window is trying to get a little cross breeze going with the rain here. You know, it's kind of a nasty. Is that the fan you're not allowed to sleep with at night?
Oh, no. That's one of those stand-up Dyson ones that we spent like $400 on.
Loud.
This was a small fan that I what's the word I'm thinking of? Borrowed from a concert venue last fall on a Life of Agony tour. Borrowed it from a venue. They had it by the merch area, and I was like, oh, this will be great for the night. It'll cool me off so I don't sweat. And it's been cooling me off every episode we've been doing since probably September of last year.
All right. Well, let's get right into episode 404, as we always do, with Drink of the Week.
Na zdrowie.
Salud.
Drink of the Week. Cruncher.
Who's? Drink of the Week. Drink of the Week. Drink of the Week. Drink of the Week.
Brian, what are you drinking tonight?
I'll tell you what I'm drinking, but first, a little backstory. We are established fans of Cape May Brewing Company. We 100%. Love them. They are friends of the show. They have been taking care of us all the way back to episode 1. About 2 weeks ago, I called Derek, our man over at Cape May, and I said, Derek, I called Derek and I was like, Derek, what do you got for us? I want to feature a Cape May beer during Drink of the Week in an upcoming episode. He said, Brian, I got you. Fast forward about 5-6 days, I get a little care package. Derek, you're the best. But you know what he included? He included some of this Cape May White.
I don't think I've tried that yet.
White. It's in the can. It's a small can, so it's not particularly heavy. It's 5.2 ABV, so it's not heavy. Look at this beer. Look how clear this thing is. This is a beaut. Almost as pretty as the pint glass I'll be drinking it out of. That's right, folks. Cape May White is brewed with orange and lemon peels, coriander, grains of paradise. I don't know how you can actually create a product that is called Paradise, but it's their favorite Belgian wit beer yeast. That's right. That's what gives it the flavor. Fruity esters up front with an easy drinking finish yields a traditional Belgium-style wheat ale brewed in the heart of the East Coast. As I said earlier, 5.2 ABV, nothing crazy. This might be crushable. Beer Advocate gives it a score of 85. Cape May White from Cape May Brewing Company. Let's see if Derek was able to follow through.
I mean, if I remember, you are a fan of being in small cans since your college days.
Ooh, this is good.
Oh, there we go. It's going for a second sip.
You know, Derek sent me a 6-pack of this, and I may actually go out and buy some more.
Ooh,
that's good.
It sounds like it'd be a great beer for beer mosas also.
Ooh, absolutely, and I'll tell you why. You really do. I mean, usually the descriptions that comes with these that comes with these beers come with the beers. Actually, not plural
Of the beers.
That's all right. Usually they don't really nail exactly what's going to happen when you take a sip. It sounds good, but it is not. But it goes on to a tangent. We hate those. Absolutely hate tangents here. But I'm going to tell you something. Right off the bat, the first thing I get is the lemon. There is absolutely that citrus right off the bat. Then after you swallow, that's when you get the yeast flavors. Absolutely, it's a great beer. I'm giving this 4.5 out of 5 stars. Derek, you did a great job over at Cape May, which leads me to an important question, Ron.
Sure.
What are you drinking?
So kind of going local. You're local in New Jersey. I'm local in Pennsylvania. The good people over at Workhorse Brewing Company out of King of Prussia. This is their Hell's Lager, clocking in at 5%. Crisp, golden, honey. Look at that body. Just looking quite tasty. Again, 5% ABV, potentially crushable. Let's see.
As the man takes a sip.
Oh,
ooh,
smooth, not heavily carbonated. Like it's a perfect sipping beer.
Right. He's going for a second sip. Ron, let me ask you a question. Walk me through the experience. What do you taste? What do you feel?
Well, let's see what it says here. It says crisp, golden, obviously. Not quite getting the honey taste, but it's just a smooth finish, smooth aftertaste, and definitely crushable. I think we have 2 crushable beers tonight, possibly for Hot Podcaster Summer.
Hot Podcaster Summer.
Just 2 weekends away, Brian, from starting. I'm excited. I don't know about you.
We're so close. We're so close. And by the way, the comments we were getting, I know you tend not to check our Gmail very often. The number of comments we got this past week, because last week you referenced Hot Podcaster Summer.
Hot Podcaster Summer.
And you said that it starts with Memorial Day, and the number of listeners that immediately chimed in pointing out that summer does not technically start until June 22nd and that it does not start at Memorial Day. And I replied to the first couple letting them know that you, as proper champion of the podcast, get to determine when the beginning weekend of Hot Podcaster Summer is.
Hot Podcaster Summer.
But I grew tired of it. There were so many. So if you sent in a comment,
I feel that it's a wasted month. Like,
sure.
Why wait till June when we're already the pool's going to be open. We're going to be poolside. We're going to be sunning ourselves. Sun's out, guns out. And also, Hot Podcaster Summer.
Hot Podcaster Summer.
I love that
anyway,
sound effect. Love it.
Moving on.
Yes.
As always, it follows Drink of the Week. Every single week, it's Beef of the Week.
Ron and Brian's Beef of the Week.
Brian, what's bothering you this week?
It's Amazon.
Really?
I know. Yeah. Again,
Not
and
the
I know
rainforest. I'm assuming the company.
it's the company. This past week, listen, I'm going to peel the curtain back a little bit. I like to have a Cliff Bar every morning for breakfast.
Really?
There's certain medications I take that I don't really want to take on an empty stomach, and I've read you need to have something in your stomach. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So instead of having something like egg and cheese on a roll, which between you and I, it's actually really what I want in the morning. I know that's not healthy for me, so I'll take a Cliff Bar. I know that there are better. I know there are healthier breakfast bars I could be eating. I've tried many. They taste terrible. There's just it's terrible. I can't help it. I'm not going to eat it. So what do? I signed up on Amazon to buy one of those like 20 count boxes of their chocolate chip energy protein bars. Got a box of them. I did the subscribe and save. Saved like a buck 50,
right?
But the idea is, I like the fact of getting to work. Yeah. Sitting there, opening up, my laptop, getting ready to start work. Grab a Cliff Bar, knock it out with some coffee. Boom! I got something to eat. Now I can take my meds. I don't have to think about it. However, about 2 weeks ago, Amazon sent me an email stating that they were out of stock of my chocolate chip. Would I like to place would I like to switch to a backup product? I clicked on something. I'll admit, didn't really read. And you know what they sent me? They sent me the macadamia protein bars. Perfectly fine. That's what I clicked on. But they're minis. They're fucking minis. It's a 20 count. They're like a third of a mini bar, Jerry. They are about a third of the size of a regular Cliff Bar. The same count for the same price. And that's what Amazon charged me for.
You didn't get like 36 minis. You got
I got a box of. I got a box
price of 12 full size. All right,
went back.
That's fair.
And the thing is, when you look at the screen to choose like a backup in case it's out, the word mini doesn't appear on the list of options. It's like the 30th word in the description, because it's just like Cliff Bar, energy protein, breakfast bar, macadamia, blah blah blah, hyphen.
Like it's there to bamboozle you.
Correct. Mini was all the way at the end. So now I have literally enough for about the next 4 days, and now I have to go out and buy another box. And I can't buy the chocolate chip, which is what I want, because they don't offer them.
Right.
They're still out of stock.
You'll have to go steal some from Whole Foods, I guess. It's
called micro looting, Ron. It's not stealing. It's micro looting.
And it's classy.
That's fine. That is my complaint. So Amazon with their deceptive price item descriptions is my beef of the week.
Fair enough.
Ron.
Yes.
Ron.
Yes, my friend.
What's bothering you?
So this week, Brian, what's bothering me? Kind of broad, but I'll narrow it down after I say it. It's humanity, Brian. Humanity is bothering me. I'm going to tell you exactly why. I'm going to tell you a story that happened on Friday night that just, it saddened me and infuriated me. So went down to our local farmer's market. They do like a produce box that you can buy every other week. You pick it up on Friday night. I go down there. I go to pick it up. And I get it, Brian. You've said, why buy from small business when you can steal from big business? But I do like supporting, these local farmers. So I get there. Farmer's there. I've seen him a few times. He's down, where Cheshire is at the Creekside Market and Tap.
Right by the train station.
Yeah, we've got a farmer's market in there now. So I go and I see Farmer Dave. Easy enough name to remember. And this time he's got like not a little dog, but he's got a dog sitting at his feet. This like blackish brown pit bull looking dog. And so I walk up there and I'm like, oh yeah, here for my produce box, return my old box, because that's the program, Brian.
Okay.
And I see the dog. The dog walks over to me and just automatically sits down in front of me and nuzzles up into my leg. And I just start patting her. I'm like, this is a great dog. And then I look down and I'm like, the dog's ribs are visibly sticking out. Like it's a very thin dog. Her ears aren't all there. Like the tip of her tail, all the hair off like the last couple of inches of her tail is gone. So my thought is this must be their dog. Their dog's sick. Like it's probably doesn't have a lot of time left on this planet. This dog is the most lovable thing ever. She's nuzzling in. I'm petting her. She's completely well behaved, wagging her tail. And he's putting together my produce box. He's like, that's Lola. It's like she came up to me 2 weeks ago in North Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. Stray dog, even thinner than she was then. She's now 6 pounds heavier than she was when he got her. took her to the vet and everything. So what the vet is thinking, she had a litter within the past month. So what the vet says happens is people will breed these dogs, and once the puppies are born, they'll bottle feed the puppies and kick the mom out into the street. And that's what happened to this poor dog. And while they had her, they clipped her ears. Like, she only has like little nubs of ears left because they literally cut her ears off, like in-home surgery on this dog. And this dog people suck, Brian. This is why.
Yeah.
I can't stand. This is the stuff that just drives me up a fucking wall, because I know this isn't, the lone situation. There's so much of this that goes out there. And this poor dog, who should not be nice to humans at all at this point, just the most loving thing. So the only good part of this is, they're on a farm, has a lot of room to, run around. When she puts on more weight, he's going to get her, spayed and get some other medical things taken care of. Mm-hmm. But just the fact that people can do that, just throw a dog out into the street like trash, aggravates me to no end.
It's terribly sad. Just terribly sad.
I should not be surprised anymore by the behavior of people, but that just really got to me.
Yeah, I'll give you that. That's terrible.
Right. Let's try and bring things up a bit. Let's go to our stories of the week. As people who listen to this show know, we have stories that we like to get to, that we set aside, and we make sure we share with you folks. Brian, what is your story of the week?
I will tell you what my story of the week, and I'll tell you why it's here, because it reminds me something. It reminds me very much of a conversation that you and I had when we were in college. It is about what? Why are you laughing? It is about foreskin reconstruction. It is a surgical procedure that is dividing penis doctors. And I did not know penis doctors was an actual term used in the media.
That's the actual title, but
always called them urologists, but that's that's not something. But I do anyway. Let's get back to the story. So there is a doctor who is a board certified urologic surgeon. Ooh, try to say that word a couple of times. Dr. Lawrence Levine. And he said that he has been doing a fair amount of penile cosmetic surgery, but he does not replace foreskin lost to circumcision. There is a growing number of men in America who are not happy with the appearance of their penis after they have had a circumcision as child, grown up. There's a term for this patient population that are known as restorers. There's an article in the New York Magazine, if you're interested going deeper, who say that they have struggled to improve their sexual sensation, and they want to feel quote unquote whole again. Medical experts, meanwhile, are warning that do it yourself, and we have heard, we've done plenty of stories over the years about DIY surgical procedures, people getting arrested, people dying because of botched surgeries, where foreskin techniques are often untested, potentially dangerous, and may lead to devastating results. And here's another one. Surgery generally involves taking skin from other body parts, grafting it onto the penis. A urologist in Germany told New York Magazine that he retrieved skin from the scrotum to cover the penis shaft in a 2-hour procedure that generally cost $5,000. A 30-year-old man who spent $25,000 for surgery in California to gain 17 millimeters of foreskin revealed to the New York Magazine that he cried after sex because he was so thrilled with the results of the surgery. So these restorers are spending fabulous amounts of money to gain a little bit of foreskin back. I remember when we were in college, Ron, there were you went through a period of time, I don't know if you're there now, but the story reminded me of it. You went through a period of time where you said you didn't feel whole. We would go out drinking after evening classes, and you would be sitting at the bar. I believe we were I can't even remember a bar in Albany. God damn it. I literally just blanked on every bar name that we ever went to.
We're at the QE2, Brian.
Oh, Kiwi too. That's good. We could have gone with that, but I fucked it up. Anyway, I remember you would just sit there crying into your Peel's draft beer that you didn't feel whole because you had a circumcision as a child, and you're like, just what could happen? Just please allow me to regrow my foreskin. And I remember sitting there saying to you, buddy, it's not worth it. You are whole as a person, and that's how you need to think of yourself. I don't know if you're still going through that struggle.
I've taken your words to heart, Brian, and I've learned to love myself the way I am. And that's because
that
of you,
makes me so happy to hear. Ron, what's your story of the week?
So my story, Brian, Kraft, the food company, they have merged the two greatest cheap food staples on earth, and people are cautiously intrigued. They have announced a new limited edition Chicken Ramen flavored mac and cheese, which has started landing in stores nationwide. It was first spotted at Albertsons and has also been confirmed at Jewel, Osco, and Hy-Vee. Initial reactions have been mixed, but most people are hyped. Reviewers describe the ramen chicken flavor as adding just a hint of savory chicken seasoning to the classic cheesy base. Not an overwhelming ramen bomb, but enough to cut through the usual mac monotony. The combination isn't entirely new. People have been dumping ramen season packets into their Kraft mac and cheese for years on their own. Kraft is essentially just bottled the heck out of it and put it on the shelves. It doesn't sound... there's a lot of cheesy chicken ramen out there. Aren't you really just substituting the ramen noodle with the macaroni that Kraft uses?
Absolutely. The problem here is that it's Kraft macaroni and cheese as the product that we're using.
Really?
And I'll tell you why. If you want to tell me that you're making this from scratch, you're buying your own pasta, your elbows. I think most people make macaroni and cheese with elbows. I know some people do with other types, farfalle, maybe tagliatelle. Some people like to use a spaghetti.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you're gonna sit there in your ivory tower and look down your nose at people who that's all they can really afford is Kraft macaroni and cheese, while you're out stealing high-end pastas and cheeses to make your luxury ramen dinner.
Can I do you remember, hold on, sorry to go sidetracking, but I will sidetrack for a moment. When you were up here for the last weekend, Cavatelli, that's a good one. When you were up here, not this weekend, the weekend before, when we went out for brunch with friends of the show, Mike and Ann was horrified. Did you pick up how horrified she was that I don't pay for all the items at Whole Foods? Oh my God.
She was aghast to be sitting next to you. She was.
What I was so amazed at is that somebody who I think I'm so close to does not get me that much that she just like normal people, most people that I would put within like my circle would sit there and go, oh yeah, that's on brand for you. I said, but she was just like, what? You don't pay? I don't, what? You just walk out? And I'm like, yeah, of course. That's what I do. Yeah. Anyway, but like, my thing is this, listen, to me, and I know you're going to mock me for being an elitist here, but it's like macaroni and cheese is actually very easy to make. You just boil your pasta, then you take a little butter, a little flour, you put some milk in there, you heat it up, you then melt your cheese into it, you pour over your pasta in a dish, you bake it. That's macaroni and cheese. Obviously,
so you have the luxury of money and time, is what you're saying.
Everybody's got a different spin on it. Some people like putting breadcrumbs. Somebody wants
to pick on it. Call me an elitist, and I'll say exactly what you would expect an elitist to say.
Wow. My point is just the fact that, like, I imagine that the Kraft. Have you had Kraft lately? When was the last time you had Kraft macaroni and cheese?
I'm not gonna lie, it's probably been about 20 years, but I will say when I first was living on my own, and I'll ask you the important question: what is a serving size of Kraft macaroni and cheese?
The box.
The box.
The box. You make it. Sometime, I'll admit, when I was at my I don't want the lady to hear this, I would eat right out of the pot. I would take the pot. I would just bring it over to the TV. I would place it down. I'd put like a little,
We'll trim it.
Ooh, fancy. I would put one down and I would just spoon right out of the pan. The problem here, I just feel like is, as you know, with a lot of American food products, because you and I haven't had it in so long, that the quality of it,
it's probably not as good as it used to be. I got you.
Absolutely. That's my point, is that it probably tastes absolutely terrible. The idea of a little, chicken stock inside of it to give it a little flavor, a little chicken ramen, some better spice to it. I bet it'll knock it out of the park in terms of adding flavor to it. The downside is just that it's being done by Kraft mac and cheese. Here we go. Annie's mac and cheese is definitely better.
People may look down at us for having wolfed down a full box of Kraft mac and cheese, but to be fair, it doesn't reheat well. So if you don't finish that box and you put it in the fridge saying, "Oh, I'll just have this another night," and there's no good way. You can throw it back in a pot with a little more milk. You can microwave it. It's not going to be as good as it was that first
Never.
night.
Do you ever put a can of tuna in it?
No, I did not. See, I'm not.
Oh, yeah.
Never was a big tuna casserole guy.
Really?
I would chop up some Vienna sausages. I would chop those up and throw.
You always like the little sausages. You like to play with them. You like to put them in your mouth and just roll your tongue over it. And...
Oh, you set me up, man. You put it right on the T-ball, and you don't expect me to hit a home run? Come on now.
God damn you.
All right. Next up, Brian. I believe you were unaware that there is going to be an airport renamed after President Donald J. Trump.
Yes.
So
I was not paying attention to what's going on in Florida. I will admit, and I've had multiple conversations with people over the last couple of years, but my sphere of getting worked up over things is getting smaller and smaller. And I've learned to try to really focus my energies on things I can control, because the things I can't, it's just wasted energy for me. So to be brutally honest, the entire state of Florida is just something I've given up on.
You got to take it off your radar. You got to take it off your radar. I get that.
I've just completely given up on Florida altogether. So to hear that there's craziness going on down there, yes. Par for the course. What is going on in Florida, and why on earth are they naming a airport after him while he's still alive?
All right. Well, so it's Palm Beach International Airport is going to be renamed after Donald Trump. He had initially pushed to rename Washington Dulles International Airport after himself. But that effort failed after Democratic officials refused to play along. As a consolation prize, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed a bill to rename the airport, the Palm Beach Airport, after Trump instead. A Florida law now mandates the airport shall be renamed President Donald J. Trump International Airport, effective July 1st, 2026, pending FAA approval. The county gets to use the name royalty-free, which has all his supporters saying, "Hey, see, Trump isn't going to profit." However, Palm Beach County Commissioners have approved a trademark and licensing agreement with Trump's family business. Under the deal, the Trump family won't profit from branded merchandise sold inside the airport, but the agreement does not prevent them from profiting from any merchandise sold outside the airport's premises, and it also gives the Trump family control over any biographical material presented at the airport or on airport materials, so ads, things like that. They have a say in. If the county or any retail business wants to sell airport branded merchandise, they must purchase these products, quote, exclusively and directly from such entities designated by the licensor, which is DTTM Operations LLC, run by Donald Trump Jr.
Okay.
As a local trademark attorney put it, quote, normally a license agreement says that the goods have to be of a certain quality. It doesn't say that you have to purchase them from a retailer we're approving. It's just going to be him and his organizations controlling the messaging. The agreement also includes a non-disparagement clause. The county has agreed not to use the airport's name in any way that could tarnish Trump's reputation. And the rebrand is expected to cost about $5.5 million in taxpayer money. covering new signage, equipment, uniforms, and system updates. The airport's code will also change from PBI to DJT.
Okay, this is America. This is America. Like, we act outraged by it, but this is what people want. People want this.
Literally.
I don't want it. A lot of people don't want it, but there are people that do. And there were more of those 2 years ago in November when everybody went out for a general election for the next president. This is the America we voted for.
Right. Well, now his son's company now has a merch monopoly. The name is free, but everything else will cost Florida.
Okay.
Florida. Next up, keeping with the Donald Trump theme, Mark Hamill posted an AI image last week of Donald Trump in a grave. The White House called him, quote, sick, and his apology, was a little half-hearted, but we're okay with that.
What was the apology? What was the issue here? He's not allowed to post this photo?
So, well, you would think the First Amendment would give people the right to post this. So this was posted by Mark Hamill on Blue Sky, showing President Trump lying lifeless in a shallow grave with a headstone reading 1946 to 2024, and the caption, "If only." Hamill wrote in the caption that Trump, quote, should live long enough to witness his inevitable, devastating loss in the midterms, be held accountable for his unprecedented corruption, impeached, convicted, and humiliated for his countless crimes. The White House fired back. Mark Hamill is one sick individual. These radical left lunatics just can't help themselves. This kind of rhetoric is exactly what has inspired 3 assassination attempts in 2 years against our president. So Mark took the post down and then just kind of put up a post. I was like, sorry. Sorry, but not sorry.
Okay. He's allowed to say sorry, not sorry. No?
Yeah, exactly. Listen, that's one of the great things of this country is we're able to say negative things about the people in power.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with this. I really
you
don't.
do it all the time. You were consistently saying negative things about me, 51% owner, champion of the podcast. And I let it slide because that's the country we live in.
I tried to trademark 8651 with the U.S. Patent and Trade Organization. They would not accept it. They sat there and said that the 86 terminology is something that they, is another word for the death of. And 51, they knew it was a reference to you because you refused to give up that 2% of ownership of the show.
Sure.
So it's just listen, we live in a world where there is a very large voice. And here, this is a perfect example. Janelle right here with this comment. This is the America they voted for, not we. The problem there, and is that it's we. It's America. There's no division. We can't look at it that way anymore. This is our country. This is the country we live in, and there have always been disagreements. There's always been clashing ideologies and whatnot. It has never been to a point. Maybe no, that's not true. The Civil War was a time where there were people really kind of. All right, you know what? I thought I had an argument, and I think I just talked myself out of it. Yeah, Ron, do we have another article, another story here? Because I think I'm wrong on this one.
Well, and to wrap up this Trump trifecta of stories, and again to prove that we're living in the most insane timeline ever, they rolled out a literal golden statue of Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago this past week. At his golf club there. But there were pastors there to bless the statue as it was being unveiled.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but I feel somewhere in the Catholic Christian religion, there's something about false idols. Golden calves, things of that nature. And at this point, Trump and his people are either oblivious or they're just really just feeding into it at this point.
Feeding into it completely. the level of idolization that is going on with this one person by this segment, and they don't speak for a majority of Americans. It's the fact that they are the loudest voice in the room, and they are talking over everyone else. And there's a lot of people who just don't have their voice be heard because they're just fed up and annoyed. They want to go out and put a gold statue of this guy outside of his club. I don't give a shit. They're not breaking a law. They're not violating the Constitution anyway. Yeah. I mean, it's gross. It's laughable. Obviously, they did not use proportions to his body because his stomach is not as big as it actually is. But I don't give a shit if they do this. It's just
and his hands look normal size too, which
correct.
That's clearly
small
not
hands.
Scale.
Small hands. We know he likes to drink like this.
But again, it kind of goes back to the hypocrisy. If you are a true Christian, between him posting an AI photo of himself as Jesus and him literally making himself an idol to be worshipped above, everybody else with this golden statue, like I don't see how it's right in front of you, and I don't see how some of these folks don't get it.
You know what it is? It's the only thing that he's got going for him in terms of the Christian right is the stacking of the Supreme Court with conservative judges who are going to overrule Roe v. Wade. That was the only thing I see about him that they can identify as somebody who is pushing their agenda. He's got kids with how many women? He's been married how many times? The man does not lead a Christian life. We can always go back to that moment when they said, "What's your favorite, section of the Bible?" And just watch him not even be able to name even the most obvious one, which clearly is the last page. But it's just the idolization of him by that group. I don't understand. Like that famous photo of all the pastors in the White House with their hands on his shoulders while they're all praying and as a group. Bizarre, just so bizarre to me. I know he eats that shit up.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Next up, we have an update on the J.P. Morgan sex slave lawsuit, which we covered the story last week. The lawsuit now has new anonymous witnesses, including one who claims he was propositioned for a threesome at 3 a.m. Kind of recapping, Tereyu Rana, a former senior vice president at J.P. Morgan Chase, he had filed a sexual discrimination lawsuit against executive Laura Hajdini, saying that she treated him like a sex slave. He has now filed new evidence in his lawsuit against her. It includes anonymous witness statements from two people describing alleged encounters with Hajdini. One witness, apparently a family friend of Rana's, claims he was staying at a New York apartment when Hajdini showed up, quote, completely naked, sat on the couch he was sleeping on, lit a cigarette, and invited him to join them in the bedroom. Another witness claims to have seen Hajdini kissing Rana's neck on the street and hearing her say, quote, "I own you, Brownie." It just gets worse. J.P. Morgan insists the lawsuit is entirely fabricated. The New York Post also reported that Rana apparently lied to the bank about his father dying to collect paid bereavement leave, which he allegedly used to prepare the lawsuit.
I did read that.
The Post found Rana's father alive and well. J.P. Morgan previously offered him $1 million to settle. He didn't accept it or reject it. His lawyers then countered with a demand of $11.75 million.
Okay.
I mean, don't you take the $1 million and run?
I think you do. I mean, I would. Fuck.
But it's just crazy that, I don't know, the more that comes out about this guy, he needs to find money somehow, because I can't imagine this guy working in finance anywhere ever again.
Correct. I mean, who would hire him? Why would anybody hire him?
What future company is going to want to get tied up in this?
Fascinating article in the Wall Street Journal this week. I think I saw a link from Drudge Report. I like to check out Drudge Report every now and then. Just on people who had worked with him and went to college with him and their experiences with him, which was just kind of an asshole. just like, like it was, what it basically was just like, he was very aggressive, but like while you were his friend and everything was fine, he was a good guy to be around. But the second that he saw you as the opposite side, and this was somebody that he had to struggle with you, he would just pull out all the stops and would just fight dirty.
Just try to destroy you.
Which is, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if J.P. Morgan paid the Wall Street Journal for that story, but it was just not a flattering piece on him.
All right. Next up, Brian, AI has resulted in a murder conviction being tossed out in the state of Georgia. The Georgia Supreme Court vacated a lower court's denial of Hannah Payne's request for a new murder trial, not because she deserved one, but because the prosecutor who opposed her appeal, Clayton County Assistant DA Deborah Leslie, used AI to write her briefs and submitted citations to cases that either don't exist or don't support the arguments made. The justices identified 9 bogus citations initially. Leslie later found 12 more errors herself. This main photo is of Deborah Leslie. The inset is of Hannah Payne, who was convicted of murder, I believe, in 2019. Excuse me. Leslie acknowledged she did not independently verify any of the AI-generated citations before filing them. The court sent the case back to the trial court to issue a new order, this time without the phantom case law. Leslie has been suspended for arguing before the Georgia Supreme Court for 6 months and must complete additional ethics training. For background, Payne, now 27 years old, was convicted of murdering 62-year-old Kenneth Herring in 2019 after she followed him following the hit and run she witnessed, confronted him, and shot him. She was sentenced to life in prison plus 13 additional years. Just to kind of rub it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it is a wild time that we're living in the sense that we have created this amazing tool, AI. People are still figuring out how to use it, how to, some people are some people are writing their own AI agents.
I've heard that, yes.
I had to ask my wife what an AI agent is, and I'm going to be honest with you. Ron, she answered me, and I still don't understand what I didn't. I just didn't. And halfway through her explanation, I just tapped out, and I was just. I think I said to her at one point, I was just like, yeah, well, all this stuff is really over my head. And then she looked at me, she's like, what do you mean? And I was like, fuck. I was like,
what are you, stupid?
Exactly. I was just like, this conversation is going to keep going because I thought it was just going to be a quick little explanation, and it's not an easy explanation. I don't really understand the difference between AI and don't get me wrong. Like AI can create videos, it can make songs. I once watched.
It can make me appear like I'm the coach of the New York Knicks.
Go figure. I once saw an AI generated video of Dr. Martin Luther King going into a WWE wrestling match, beating the crap out of turning heel. I mean, it can be used for some genius entertainment. I just don't see the difference between using AI versus just Googling something. But apparently there is. But just think that our prosecutors are just throwing in some case into AI, being like, come up with a reason why I should be able to, put this person in jail. Yeah, it's just fucking wild. You can't be lazy with this shit.
No. Like, again, I can see using it as a tool.
Yeah.
But you got to read through it. Like, you gotta Google a few things still. You gotta Westlaw a few of these items and make sure they actually exist.
Sure.
All right, next up, Brian, a Texas father protected his family of 8 from a carjacker in the most Texas way possible. On Sunday, May 3rd, Garland, Texas police responded to a multi-car crash on Highway 66 involving a suspect who then fled to a nearby gas station and began attempting to take several vehicles by force. He crossed the street to a convenience store parking lot where he approached a white Chevrolet Impala carrying a family of 8, including several children. Surveillance video shows the suspect approaching the car, the father jumping out with a gun, a prolonged struggle, and ultimately the father shooting the carjacker after the family escaped the vehicle. The suspect, identified as Jose Ramirez, age 30, was unarmed but described as clearly not in his right state of mind. He was taken to a hospital where he later died. Garland Police Lieutenant Pedro Barano said the shooting, quote, seemed to be self-defense, adding, it kind of all happened like really fast. No charges are expected to be filed against the father.
Okay. What are our thoughts here, Ron?
Well, first, I don't know how you safely transport 8 people in a Chevrolet Impala. Like at first I'm like, oh, is this a minivan? I'm like, no, this is a 4-seat sedan. Like,
okay, you got me on that one.
So
8
first,
people. Yeah, okay. I imagine somebody's in the trunk.
You would have to think so. But again, like, even though this guy was unarmed, I can kind of see, like, if you've got your kids in the car and this crazy person is trying to carjack you, or you don't even know if he's carjacking you or if he's just going to hurt you or your family, I can see firing off a round or two.
Okay. Wow.
That's just me. I mean, what's your take on it, Brian? You are the liberal noise in this podcast, the libertarian, I should say.
I'm just going to say this. I think we live in a day and age where crime pays. And I think that we as individual citizens and living in a world where police response is not always going to react in real time to a criminal situation, I have no argument against somebody taking the law into their own hands and shooting a criminal.
All right, fair enough. Next up, Brian, we've got an Arkansas fight club for kids. This is where a school director ran a literal child fight club in an autism school. This is a mugshot of Mary Tracy Morrison, age 51, owner and director of the Delta Institute for the Developing Brain and the Engage program in Jonesboro, Arkansas, a school for autistic children. She was branded the ringleader of a makeshift child fight club by prosecutors. She allegedly forced a 13-year-old to sit inside a circle while classmates were directed to punch, kick, and choke him, all while she verbally berated the child and gave a high five to the student who choked the victim, quote, displaying pleasure with the student's actions. She was sentenced to 30 days in jail, 120 days of house arrest with electronic monitoring, 9 years of probation, and the judge also ordered her to surrender her occupational therapy license and barred her from ever working with children again. I'm trying to process the 30 days for literally getting kids to beat each other up. I'm also trying to process how anyone in their right or near right mind would think that's appropriate.
A fair.
I mean, am I wrong?
Saying, what I'm saying is, how is it that there was not gambling on this fight club? How is it that we were not given a heads up that these activities were going on, and that we had we were robbed of to me, that's the real crime here, Ron, is the fact you and we enjoy a healthy little wager. Nothing. We're not, gambling enough that we're going to, endanger ourselves from being able to make our mortgage payments.
Right.
But $5-10, depending on the level of comfort we have. I mean, I feel like this was something that we could have made some money on.
Do you know what I miss, Brian?
What do you miss?
Bum fights. Now
God, that was good.
Listen,
do you remember when that dude
we were a country back then.
Oh,
we were a country
back then. We were a country of bum fights. And and I'll admit, and this just shows you the level of prude that I am as an adult and as a white cis male in America. But I remember the first bum fights, if I'm not correct, was just bums fighting. The second one was when they introduced scantily clad women, in between the bum fights. And I was annoyed by it. I felt that it was that that these scantily clad women, it was
so pure, and then they had to cheapen it with titillation.
I didn't want the titillation. I wanted more bum fights.
No,
I wanted to just watch these bums just like fight it out. And literally, and the videos of these guys, they just punch each other just for literally for like a 6-pack of beer. I remember it felt like, and I will admit, because I do have some morals and ethics. I know people in the chat are going to sit there and say, no, you don't. But when they got that one guy to tattoo bum fights on his forehead, even I sat there. I just felt in my stomach, this is too much. I'm not okay with this.
This might be a step too far.
Yeah, I felt like they had crossed the line on that one. And I wish that they had drawn the line before that.
Understood. Next up, Brian, a Colorado woman killed a man while high on cocaine and booze, blamed a fictional person, and told cops good luck when arrested. This is Kaylin Settle, age 30, a Colorado registered nurse. She killed 41-year-old motorcyclist Aaron Barone while under the influence of cocaine and alcohol. At the scene, she told police a, quote, Mexican lady that left was responsible, claiming that she had pulled over to help as a nurse. Officers found what appeared to be either blood or human flesh on the hood of her SUV. When an officer told her she was under arrest for DUI, she responded, quote, good luck with that. Judge Jenny Lynn Lawrence sentenced Settle to 6 years in prison for the homicide and 1 year for cocaine possession to be served concurrently, the maximum allowed. The judge had originally considered community supervision, but was persuaded otherwise by Settle's missed drug test during the pretrial period, saying, quote, these are not behaviors of a sober person. Just the fact that you can kill somebody and a judge was like, well, maybe just some supervision is all this person needs. Maybe that's what they're missing.
I feel, like we've had so many stories over the years which shows such a disparity between the types of sentences that judges can dole out.
Yeah.
That you can have cases, and obviously this requires like a deep review of the law. But the number of times we've read cases where, a judge will literally give somebody such a light sentence, those stories of those, white male sports figures who are just, sexually assaulting women, found guilty of it. And then it's like, well, he was, he's a D1 athlete and, we don't want him to really ruin his...
We don't want to ruin the rest of his life.
Yeah, we're going to knock it down to a misdemeanor so this way he's still eligible for the NFL draft. Like, it's like, are you kidding me? He raped a woman. Like, he was found guilty. Like, this is wild to me. But it just feels like judges have such a wide spectrum of an allowable sentence that and as a judge by judge case basis, they can choose. It just seems wild to me.
Well, again, it's one thing if it's an actual accident, but if you're drunk and high, like I think that's where, you got to take on some responsibility.
I agree. Wholly agree.
Next up, a local Cheltenham woman. Cheltenham, isn't that where I live? Yes, Cheltenham Township. A local Cheltenham woman allegedly turned Victoria's Secrets into her personal warehouse and eBay into her storefront. Tiffany Halley, age 41 of Cheltenham, allegedly stole nearly $1 million worth of lingerie from Victoria's Secret stores across 6 states, then sold the haul through an eBay store at an average discount of over 83%, roughly $2.80 per item versus a $16.95 retail price. Surveillance footage captured her at 31 stores across Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Maryland, Virginia, and Connecticut, filling mesh bags with merchandise and concealing items under larger clothing before walking out. As of last week, Hallie had not been taken into custody when troopers executed a warrant at her home. She wasn't there, claiming to be on a trip with her daughter. She's made no effort to turn herself in since.
Well,
Now,
that's very
just good business.
convenient.
You steal. So she made $150,000. So she turned $1 million in product into $150,000. Quite the businesswoman there.
Yeah, I'm not really buying this.
Which part aren't you buying?
The fact that you listen. To be brutally honest here, is what she doing considered micro looting?
I think when it's $1 million, I think that becomes macro at that point.
Okay, all right, good. I just wanted to make sure that what I'm doing isn't considered as bad.
Yeah, not a problem. We've got a cruise ship story, Brian. Not the hantavirus cruise ship, which we haven't even talked about, but we'll put a pin in that.
Is there a story there? I don't know.
But a 44-year-old woman punched a 17-year-old in the face at the buffet line on a Carnival cruise, then walked off the ship like nothing happened. Jennifer Frost, age 44, of Collins, Iowa, allegedly punched a 17-year-old girl in the face aboard the Carnival Sunrise on March 19th, 2026, when the ship was on a Caribbean voyage. The teen was waiting in line at the Lido restaurant with her family when Frost, appearing drunk, tried to wedge herself into the group's conversation. Frost briefly walked away, but when the girl got her ice cream, Frost reappeared and punched her in the face, leaving the teen with a heavy nosebleed. Witnesses chased Frost through the ship and security detained her. Surveillance footage captured Frost admitting she punched the girl and, quote, expressed satisfaction with her actions. Despite being detained and confessing, Frost was somehow allowed to disembark in Miami on May 21st and flew home to Iowa without being arrested. She eventually surrendered with her attorney nearly 2 months later. The 17-year-old victim suffered a broken nose. Frost bond was set at $2,500.
Listen, we've all been overserved at bars. You can't pick fights with the kids. You just can't.
No. Especially if you're 40. Like if you're 18, 19, you probably could punch a 17-year-old and get away with it. When you're 44, you should know better. This is why you don't buy the unlimited beverage package on a cruise ship. Nothing good.
Or why you don't listen. If we're talking hantavirus, I mean, you don't go on a cruise ship. Period. Let's be brutally honest. Yeah, you don't do it. You just can't.
I hear there's 2 of the hantavirus cruise people in New Jersey being quarantined right now. Are they anywhere near the Ivory Tower?
I have no clue. Have not looked. Don't care. Not afraid of this thing. It'll happen or it doesn't happen. Out of my control.
So you are not afraid of forklifts, refrigerated trucks, numerous bodies? You're not afraid of any of that?
Ron, I wasn't afraid during the coronavirus, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm New York strong. Excuse me, I am New Jersey strong.
I mean, you bitched an awful lot about it back then. That's all
I had listen, all I'm saying is I had the antibodies. Back when you guys were hiding at home and afraid to go to the supermarket and you were having your groceries delivered. Oh, no, wait, no, that's still today. You still have your groceries delivered. I had the antibodies, Ron.
All right. Next up, Brian, a Kentucky mom allegedly tattooed her 22-month-old son. Her defense, well, Brian, he just asked for it. This is Brooke McDaniel, age 27, of Columbia, Kentucky. She was arrested after allegedly giving her 22-month-old son a tattoo. She claimed she was tattooing her own leg when the child, quote, walked up and stuck his arm in the way of the tattoo gun. Witnesses, however, said she intentionally tattooed the boy, calling it a party dot and saying that the toddler wanted one. Police found a small black dot tattoo on the child's right forearm, surrounded by visible redness. The home was also described as being in, quote, deplorable condition. McDaniel is being held on a $5,000 bond of charges of fourth-degree assault.
You can't tattoo a fucking child. You just can't.
Well, and to say that, you know, the kid wanted it, you know, the kid also wants to eat crayons and sleep in a laundry basket. It doesn't mean that you allow the kid to do. Now, what's interesting, though, you can punch a 17-year-old and break her nose, and your bond is only going to be $2,500. You put a small dot tattoo on a two-year-old, and that's $5,000.
Well, listen, a 22-year-old month old is not going to be able to punch back. It's not going to be able to punch back. Whereas a 17-year-old, you would think you're still a minor. You can literally wreak havoc with that woman who's punching you. Take a Corona bottle, crack it on the bar, slice her throat. I mean, these are things you can do as a minor and get away with.
All right.
No?
I mean, I'll take your word on that.
I
Real
don't know.
quick before we wrap
Sure.
up this episode, Brian, what are you watching?
Oh, it's been a weird week. I really have not been watching much stuff. I have to say, as crazy as this sounds, I started rewatching Better Call Saul on Netflix. I was flipping through. I could not find something to watch, and I saw Better Call Saul there. I knocked out a couple episodes earlier today. I'm going to tell you something. That show was just as good during a rewatch. What are you watching?
I need to go back. I only watched like the first couple seasons of Better Call Saul. I need to go back and kind of watch it start to end.
Great show. Just a great show. What are you watching, Ron? Speaking of which.
So I think I mentioned the last time we talked about this new podcast show on Netflix called Allegedly. They had covered the Gabby Tito O'Brien laundry case before.
Yes.
The second episode dropped on Wednesday. It's about the Alexander brothers, who, again, a very recent story. There were these real estate mogul guys
in Miami, right? They were raping girls.
They were Miami. Yeah.
I remember this story. We covered this.
Girls. So they really do a deep dive into that case. So I find it very entertaining. Like it's less than an hour. It's just like the perfect amount of recap of these stories that they're doing. Season 2 of Worst Ex Ever. I enjoy some good trashy ID channel level TV. This is on Netflix, however. Definitely worth a watch. And we started watching Willow Bay on Apple TV.
How is that? I wanted to give that a shot.
So, I mean, it's definitely going to be a little bit out there. It's like a kind of like a dark comedy.
Okay.
We watched the first episode. I liked it so far.
Okay. I want to give it a shot.
Maybe it's not Willow Bay. What the hell is the name of it?
No, it is Willow Bay.
Apple
It's a new
TV,
show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
want to give it a shot.
2 episodes are out. We have to catch up on the second episode.
Okay. Good.
And I will say, my wife started watching The Devil Wears Prada 2 earlier this evening. I watched like 5 minutes. I was like, this is absolutely horrible. Like I know a lot of sequels are literally just for the money. This 100% is just for the money. No purpose for this movie whatsoever.
Question, Ron, that movie is still in the theaters. I don't believe it's streaming. How's your wife watching it?
We know people.
Oh, so theft is fine. So copyright theft is fine. Intellectual property theft is fine when it's done by you. Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about, Brian. I have no idea what you're saying.
No. I know exactly. I get it. I understand my place in this podcast, Ron.
You know what is good,
shit
Brian?
on by you. Ooh, what?
Our Patreon, Brian. Our Patreon is good. Not something you want to pirate. Not
Don't
something
sleep on this.
You want to be there live and in person. If you haven't joined our Patreon yet, go to cultofronandbrian.com. Click in the upper right-hand corner. We are going to be doing this in just, about 27 minutes? Last week, we did our pajama party. I can gladly say I defended the podcast honor, and Can You Beat Ron? Managed to slip away with a victory there. So we held on to that $25. It did not go to any worthwhile charity. But again, you get swag, you get special access, and you get that After Dark episode, which is sexy, sexy stuff, Brian. I mean, I know you get very excited most of the time we're doing After Dark.
I do. Listen, I'm going to say this to you. The number of people that have reached out to us over the years and just said, listen, we love the show. You do it for free. How do we help out? Can we buy some merch? Can we, make a donation to a charity in your name? We're like, no, you know what you can do? You can sign up for our Patreon. It's for as little as $5 a month. You can, there are other tiers where you get swag for $10. You get access to our After Dark live video stream. But it is a way, and that money we reinvest into
goes
the
right
podcast.
back into the show.
You know, we listen, we are fortunate enough to have very high paying jobs in the private sector. We don't need the money from the podcast. It's what do we do? We take the money from Patreon, we reinvest it to give you an even better show. So if you're sitting there watching and saying, how can I help? Sign up for the Patreon. It really, I mean, and let's be brutally honest, the number of stories we do in the After Dark that we just couldn't get away with during this show. You know, this show is for the masses. It's for an all ages audience. It's for the safety of family-friendly YouTube and Facebook. After Dark, it's behind the paywall. We can talk about stories that are just not quite family-friendly, if you know what I mean. Maybe a little spicy, maybe a little OF-friendly, kind of stuff that will activate the mind.
Oh, and real quick.
And sorry, what?
We forgot to mention this the whole episode. The passing of Ted Turner.
Yeah.
You nailed it prior to the podcast. You said he was probably the last good billionaire out there who really took his money and did good things with it. He started CNN back when it was an actual news organization. He bought
the Atlanta Braves.
Bought the Atlanta Braves, turned them into world champions.
Yep.
He gave $1 billion to the UN to support women and children health initiatives. He bought up large tracts of lands to be conserved, and he single-handedly helped save the American bison in this country.
Right. Correct.
So again, a man self-made. Won the America's Cup. Let's not forget Captain Courageous.
Correct.
Went out and said, you know what? I'm going to sail and win the America's Cup and bring it back to this country.
Yeah. So just and not only that, I'm also going to say this: he had fun. Like he was not one of these like elite, guys who just sit there and are constantly miserable, always getting more. The guy was out there. It was trad. Remember when he won the America's Cup? He did that news conference. Like he was hammered, drinking beer. Like you knew
smoking
that
a cigar. Didn't put on airs, even though he had more money than most people on the planet. And every person that I've read recounting stories about Ted Turner, it was a great story. Just that he was a ball buster in a good way. He was a funny guy, and he liked people, and he just liked helping people.
I hope this day does not happen for a very, very long time, Ron. But when you pass away, people are going to revere you the same way they revere Ted Turner.
Well, thank you. We can only hope. I hope the same for you.
No, it'll happen. It'll happen.
All right. Anything else, Brian, or can we wrap up episode 404?
Let's wrap this baby up.
All right.
Bring it home, Ron.
Thank you for joining us, everybody. We will catch you next week.
Takes rising, orders given. Once you're in,